G'day everyone, hope you're well. Alright, I was a bit reluctant for this when it first came out for the fact that it's all, well not all, but the clear parts and the internals. I'm not into that, but then I thought about it again for the price. I think it cost me like 65 Australian dollars. You look at it that way, that's not bad for a 148 kit, so I thought I'd get one and have a look at it. ICM are bringing one out supposedly later this year, but ICM don't do rivet details, so I'm hoping this one has the rivet details. Anyway, it's Takom Wings, so it's the new branch off with the aircraft. It's 148 and it's the Henschel HS129 B-2, and as I just mentioned, it's got the interior and bonus clear parts. By the looks of it, you have 4 schemes in the box. Captured British one, winter camo, and then splinter camo and a desert camo. And we got the sprues on the side there. Alright, let's have a look. Move that. Oh, very deep box, but it's not a long and wide box. Okay. Alrighty, so we got a history of the aircraft on the front, your sprues and decal sheet. Alright, so he's starting in the cockpit, sidewalls by the looks of it, and then onto the floor with the seat and instrument panel. So the instrument panel's got decals for it. And then looks like the bottom of the nose section is going up onto the cockpit tub area. Then we're on to, looks like, what's this, the rear part behind the cockpit here. So as mentioned, all this, if you so desire, can be seen. So it's going to have a lot of internal detail. So yeah, all continuing on through down the fuselage. So you got bulkheads along the way as well, which we built over here. Then they're going in. So by the looks of it, you've got normal, the grey styrene, and that's your clear part. I'm guessing this is how they've done it. We shall soon see. So fuselage together, you got some doors here going on the side of the fuselage, and the hatches there. That looks like that's the belly. Plugging up in there, or it looks like the skin of the fuselage and going up underneath the belly there by the looks of it. You got a piece for the tail. Okay, this is your access. So yeah, that's the skin. That's your access ladder there, so it goes up inside, open or closed. The rudder tail going on and the horizontals with the separate control surfaces, so you might be able to pose them. The rudder's also separate, so you might be able to do that as well with that one. And you got the wings, so you got the fuel tanks going on the wing. We got the guns going in there on the side here. So make 2 of the gun, and then over here you're doing the other one that you made. And the opposite over here, your tanks again. Alright, make 2, so 1 either side. You need to drill some holes in the wings, 0.7mm. Larger image here, but I guess that's just showing how everything should be sitting, or what you've just done there by the looks of it. Not really pointing anything out. Right, we got here nose gear. So your nose gear going together, and then over here. Oh, sorry, no, my bad. That's your main gear. So there's A, right gear, B, left gear. You got some more fuselage skin going on there, and you're putting the wings on, but again you got the clear or the grey styrene. So this is gear up. Okay, so you got gear down, gear up option, and you got the engine going together. So I'm wondering if they got clear parts for the cowl so you can see the engines. Huh, interesting. It looks like you got, so on the cowl, or behind the cowl, looks like there's some instrument panels there. It's been for the pilot to see, read his gauges for the engines. Right. This option here, these parts are optional, so that's for gear up or gear down. Okay. So these are going in if your gear's down. If your gear's up, no, by the looks of that. And, rear part of the engine itself for the gear bay. You got the open close option. And then you need to cut tabs off here depending on which way you're doing it. J3, J4 cut. Okay, so if you want them closed, then closed is spelt C-L-C-O-E-D. Lost in translation. So if you're having your gear up, you need to cut the tabs off. That doesn't look like, well, I'll soon see when I look at the sprues, but by that it doesn't look like the engine nacelles have got clear options, unless they just come as clear. Right, it's very busy, a lot of small parts still going on here behind the engine, exhaust by the looks of it. And you got the chin cannon or belly cannon. Control surfaces going on, and the actuators are separate parts, and bombs to the wings where you drilled the holes out earlier. The tail wheel, tail wheels option there, so it must be for the scheme. And alright, canopy is in a few parts. Looks like you got the armoured glass section that goes in before the windscreen. And you got still going on the fuselage parts going in on the side. And you got your propellers and hubs, and that is the end of your build. It's quite busy, but then having all the internals, I guess it would be. No squadron unit wear, so it's desert camo, splinter camo, winter camo, and the captured British camo. Well, that's unfortunate. I haven't given a bit of information about the schemes. Alright. Decals are quite matte looking. They always worry me, these style, especially on your Balkan crews. You can see the carrier film, but when you put it on the model it should be okay, but I'd usually mask and paint them anyway. But for those who don't, it's I always find it concerning with that matte look. So you got the instrument panels, just pretty basic. Otherwise it's all there. Alright, I'm just going to grab this on top. Oh, I didn't get my good cutting mat out, sorry. Alright. Okay, so that's the tail section, and that was the access hatches, panels. So this is, well, this is the grey styrene, but this is what concerns me when they say, oh, it's all internal. And when you put in all the ejection pin marks, that's, you want to see the insides, you need to take care of all that. So, but we'll have a look what the clear parts are. Alright, yeah. Wings, alright, so you have some rivet detail, but not everywhere. But I don't know the aircraft, they might have been, I don't know if they were metal or timber or what, so they got a lot of riveting over here and access panels. Yeah. Oh, that's, careful with that, that's very, very flexible. All these little, I don't know if they're bracing points or what, but they're raised. Alright, here's our clear wing. Okay. Instead of being like trumpeter and wrapping it in styrofoam, we'll just use a bit of cling wrap. Alright, let me get that off without breaking it. That's a silly idea. Alright, I stand corrected. There's no ejection pin marks in there. Very nice. Canopy, the armoured glass section on the windscreen. So it looks getting the glare off it, but there's no ejection pin marks. So why is it they can do it for a clear part, but they can't do it normally on grey parts? It's obviously possible. Alright. That was the chin section, I think. So the nacelles are loaded up with ejection pin marks, but once you put the doors on, you won't really see them, I guess. So I'm guessing that was part of the wheel well or the mount for the engines. So there's your gear leg, so two different ones for gear down and gear up. That's nice and crisp, the detail on it. Gear legs look nice too. Just the usual where the moulds meet, you have to clean up the join. There's two different instrument panels. That was the tail piece. You got a lot of tiny parts going on. Yeah. These some of the internals to the wing, I think. There, guns. That's the, I think that was for the belly or chin. There's the gun or cannon. And there's your other gun barrels. Oh. Okay. Well, the looks of it, those clear parts I showed you, that's it. So you got the tops of your wings and one side of the fuselage, which I think's odd, but anyway. Right, there's your wheels, two halves, your rudder. The rudder's one piece, but the tail is two parts. One of the spinners, the cowls. So, okay. So here's my point. If you're going to have clear parts to show detail, wouldn't you have it for the engines? So that's just, so we got two of the same, so that's just the other. So there's obviously engines, one side engine. So it's quite detailed, but there's a heap of tiny parts. So out of the box, there is, I guess you'd say, reasonable detail that you could look at it. So why not have a clear cowl? And I'm sure down the track, aftermarket, there'll be resin engines and whatnot. So alright, so we got another rudder on there, so pay attention to which one you need. I think these were panels going on the fuselage, which they have ejection pin marks in them, but you can't see them anyway. But I don't know, can you see one side? Because if you put the clear part in, how far through can you see, and will you see ejection pin marks or not? Propellers, a bit of mold flash to clean up again with the joint where they join on this sprue. Seems to be a bit more pronounced in some areas, especially on those flaps. Alright, so there's your wing internals, the framing of it. So a lot of sprue gates to clean up. Injection sprue gates, but it's on the vertical, so there's no ejection pin marks in the ribbing of the frame. And the bulkheads for the fuselage, and there's your fuel tanks, which have nice details on them. So it's actually, the internal detail is nice with what they've supplied. And that's it. So there you go. Like I said, it's not that expensive a kit, so I thought, oh well, I either like it and build it or I don't and sell it. But I like the aircraft. I've always wanted to do one of these, but just, I don't know. The clear parts are very nice, but I don't understand. I guess I can understand just one side of the fuselage, that's fair enough. But I understand why they wouldn't have done the engine cowl, so you can see the engine. Doesn't make sense to me, but anyway. But they're superb, really. But gluing them on and keeping them that nice and clear, and where you glue that to the bottom part and clean up the seam joint, how you're going to go. You might be able to run a piece of, like, mask it off and just spray paint above where it joins when you clean that up. Or you can do it many ways, couldn't you? You could just mask off areas that you want to actually see into and paint over where you don't. So I don't know, it's probably one of those ones you either like or you don't. You can build it normally, like a normal model, and you're just looking at the exterior, or those who like internal details, I'm not a fan of, really. Doesn't fuss me, because I just like to look at the shape of an aircraft and its outside, but you've got the option to do either way, so I guess it doesn't look that bad. Anyway, I'll do some still photos. Thanks for watching.